Human anatomy and physiology. Welcome to our week of lectures on the digestive system. This corresponds to chapter 23 in the OpenStax textbook. First, I'll briefly show the learning objectives for the digestive system. And we'll begin with a basic overview of the structures of the digestive system here in episode 1. The digestive system includes the organs and accessory structures shown on the screen here. The alimentary canal forms a continuous tube that is open to the outside environment at both ends. The organs of the alimentary tube or canal include the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. There are additional accessory digestive structures, and these include the teeth, the tongue, the glands which produce saliva, the liver, pancreas, and gallbladder. Notably, the major functions of the digestive system are highlighted on this screen. The digestive system will ingest and digest food, absorb released nutrients, and excrete food components that are unable to be digested. There are 6 activities involved in this process, including ingestion, motility, mechanical digestion, chemical digestion, absorption, and defecation, with the elimination of those excess materials that cannot be digested. These processes are regulated both by neural and hormonal mechanisms. On the screen here, you can see some of these functions highlighted, with propulsion allowing for the food and bolus to move along the alimentary canal. There's also mechanical and chemical digestion highlighted. What you can see is that mechanical digestion with chewing begins in the mouth. There is churning of materials in the stomach, and there's also segmentation, which helps to move or propel materials along as well. You have chemical digestion as well, and you can see that largely in the intestines, more specifically the small intestines. You also have absorption in the small intestines, and water can move to blood vessels in the large intestines. Let's look at this in a little bit more detail in the next table. Here you can see these major functions of the digestive tract highlighted again. From ingestion and motility to the secretion of substances, mechanical and chemical digestion, elimination, regulation, and absorption. Briefly, ingestion occurs when food is taken into the body. Motility allows for mechanical digestion, the mixing of contents with secretions, increasing contact with the absorptive surface, and propelling food along the gut. Secretions of certain substances can allow for processes of digestion and absorption to occur. You can think about hydrochloric acid that is present in the stomach. You can think about certain digestive enzymes that can also aid in the breakdown and then subsequent absorption of materials. With digestion, once again, this includes both mechanical and chemical processes to break down nutrients into more simple forms such that absorption can occur. Once again, absorption largely occurring in the small intestine. Elimination, once again, that is the excretion or that elimination of material that is not digested and absorbed. Regulation, this really involves the coordination of the various functions of the digestive system. And finally, absorption, allowing for nutrients to move through the GI or gastrointestinal mucosa into the internal environment, once again, taking place largely in the small intestine. Now, this next slide is a schematic diagram, really just to summarize the order of the various digestive organs along the digestive tract, starting from the mouth and making its way through the digestive tract and all the way to the anus. Lastly, I'd like to highlight there are several valve-like structures, and these sphincter muscles consist of circular fibers arranged such that there is an opening in the center when relaxed and no opening is present when these muscles are contracted. This really controls the movement of the food or the bolus along the digestive tract. And so these are highlighted on the screen here. Both the upper and lower esophageal sphincters will control the movement of food in the bolus as it makes its way to the stomach. The pyloric sphincter will then control the movement of materials between the stomach and the first segment of the small intestine, also known as the duodenum. So effectively, it is the exit from the stomach and thereby allows for materials to get absorbed. Once again, largely, those nutrients largely get absorbed in the small intestine. We also then, as you're moving down the GI tract, have the ileocecal valve, which controls the movement of materials between the small intestine and the large intestine. So the last segment of the small intestine is known as your ileum, and the first segment of the large intestine known as your cecum. And then finally, the anal sphincter is located between the rectum and the anus. Once again, all of these muscles are referred to as sphincter muscles, and they're essentially like valves because they contain circular fibers arranged to allow for the muscles to either relax and allow materials to pass through or contract and thereby prevent materials from making their way down the digestive tract.